Hey guys, so welcome to today's video. I have already some foundation on and I will share with you guys what I'm using. But today I wanted to do a video just kind of like a first impressions, trying out some of these products that I purchased from the Pixi brand. It is a product or products made in collaboration with Chloe Morello. And she is a YouTuber and I thought, why not try it? If I love it, great. If not, then I will share with you guys obviously my honest opinion about it. And just kind of go from there. I have swatched these, and I think I may have used these top two before as a highlight the day before yesterday, but I have not actually worn any of the like sort of blush shades or these liner slash brow products at the bottom or any of these in these like two circular pans. So that's what the palette looks like, and you can get this at Target. Target is the place to buy your Pixi products or on Pixi's website. So she came out with this palette. I'm not sure when this was released, but I noticed it when I was browsing Pixi because I do want to try more from the brand. I used to use the brightening color corrector, the peach one under the eyes. I really loved it. So I wanted to try it out because it's a little bit more in price point than a typical drugstore product, but it's still in a drugstore, so it's cheaper than like Sephora. So if you have any favorites from Pixi, let me know in the comment section. And she also came out with a gloss. This is the Lip Icing. I shared this on Snapchat several days ago, probably like maybe a week ago, in the Cake. It's called Cake. And this is the packaging with that soft green cap, which I think it's pretty standard for the Pixi products to have that color green. I've never tried any of the Pixi lip products. This is my first one. And this color, it's very kind of golden, has some reflective quality. It's a pretty nice, it's a very nice glitter gloss that's pretty. That's what I wanted to say. And I'm going to put this on and use this as my lip product. You can put this over any other lip color to give yourself a boost of kind of like a glowy glitter feel. But when I say glitter, I know that kind of sounds a little crazy, because people probably think, glitter, it's probably very chunky, it's rough, or feels weird. It isn't. It's very, very smooth. The formula is very nice, and I mentioned that on Snapchat that I was very impressed with this. So far, I do like this, and you'll get to see that. But we'll see how this palette works. So, excuse my hair. It's looking a little bit crazy. This is day 2 hair that I decided to wrap it in a curling wand, which I use the Numi curling wand, and let me tell you, when I use that, I know this is kind of like off topic, but my curls will stay for 3 days, no joke, like this, even sleeping on it, and my hair's a hot mess in the mornings. Yeah, so that's really great. So foundation, I am trying out a new sample. I saw a video by Makeup by Tiffany D, which is another YouTuber. I do follow her, and I keep up with her as much as I can. And she did a video, probably like a 4-minute video, about this new Bobbi Brown foundation, and she's like, y'all, this is really great. So it piqued my curiosity, and if you guys know me, when my curiosity is piqued, I've got to satisfy that and try it. So before buying the bottle, which is a $46 foundation, which is not cheap by any means, I went to Nordstrom, got a sample. I was matched for 2 shades. One, I think it's Cool Ivory, maybe? Cool something. That one in the sunlight, when I swatched it, didn't work. So I'm wearing Warm Ivory, and this is the Skin Longwear Foundation. I will either put it up at the bottom of the screen or in the description box, the full name, because I do not know, but this is the sort of tone of it. It's Warm Ivory, and I like more warm shades, and that's what I have on today, with a little bit of Bare Minerals concealer and nothing else. And this foundation is made for normal to oily skin, so I thought, okay, you know, I do have some areas that are pretty dry, so I used some of the Bobbi Brown, the Vitamin Enriched Face Base around my nose, top of my nose. They can kind of feel dry sometimes, especially around my nose, and my chin, which is the driest part of my face, and this foundation went on beautifully. It's not accentuating any dryness, any flakes, or anything like that. It is really, really nice. I have no powder over this. I used it with a damp beauty blender, which tends to kind of give foundations more of a dewy finish. So, enough blabbling, because you guys are here for this. I will say, I'm going to start off by saying something a little negative. I know. But I gotta be honest. I gotta keep real. That's what I have to do here. I like the setup. I think this is a really good kind of cool thing because It's all powders, so there's no cream products in there, which I can't stand when people or brands create palettes that have powders and creams all together without anything to kind of separate the two. All powders, so that's great. I think this is travel friendly, so let's just do that positive note. It's travel friendly. What's negative for me is that it's a pain in the you-know-what to open. I have to use my tweezers to do this because if not, I will probably break a nail, chip my polish. It is very difficult to open, and I'm going to try to, I have to kind of like wedge my finger in there and really get that to pop. So I do not like that. I like the clear window for the packaging because you can see what you've got. It's got a tiny little mirror, which I guess if I'm doing my brows, I can see myself, but for whatever reason, mine seems a bit kind of weird, like a clown mirror, which is very bizarre. But again, for a drugstore mirror, I probably shouldn't expect much from that, right? But it just makes my face look distorted, this little mirror, so that's kind of weird. So you would have to rely on a larger mirror. If you were in a pinch, I suppose, if you got really close, it's fine. You get really close, you can see your eyeball, you can see your highlighting, so it does the job. The top one is Promise, Bouquet, and Romance. Those are the three shades there. You have one that's kind of more peach, more pink, and more of a rose color, which is really pretty. A great size. They are 0.16 ounces, so 4.45 grams a piece, so very good size. Then you have eye shades, and it says 6 of them, so I'm assuming these 6 here. These are the shades. So you have Veil and Honeymoon, Fairy Tale and Passion, and then Lace and Swoon. And then the bottom here, it says that these could be liner or brows, these shades here. So unfortunately there's no, I mean, I guess you could use these in your crease, but they're designed to be for brows and for liner. So I probably will use it for liner. I may need to do something in the crease for this, but I think I'm going to do something very dewy and glowy on the lids. A little bit of a smoky liner, something kind of light, fresh, and springy with some, like a nice pretty blush, some highlight going on because the weather is getting warmer here. It was almost 70 degrees yesterday. Oh my God. And I live in Colorado. So let's just go ahead and do this. This is going to be, I guess we'll do like a first impression / get ready with me. We'll talk. We'll play with makeup. I do have a new mascara as well, the Maybelline Total, whoa, my mirror just fell, Total Temptations to try. I'm going to start with the lightest shade. In this trio down here. So we have Unity, Knot, and Tux. So I'm going to go with the light brown. And I'm just going to do featherlight strokes. So I just realized my camera just stopped recording, but thankfully I haven't gotten very far. I'm using the lightest of the 3 shades that are liner / brow shades, so the lightest brown color. And it does take a little bit of building, but it does make the brow look kind of soft. And you would think that a shade this light for, you know, someone with darker hair might not work. So it just goes to show that a lighter brow product can really make all the difference. Because if I would have gone in with this one, the one that's more of like a mid-tone, that's very dark. That would be for like brunettes or really dark hair. That would have made this look very Sharpie-ish. So this light shade works. And if I want to, I can take the darker one that I was just talking about, just a tiny bit of that, and go right into the areas where I have some kind of sparseness, where I feel like I can use something dark to mimic the same tone of my natural brow hair color. Alright, so both brows are done, and the product is okay for the brows. I just feel like, I don't know, it just takes a whole lot longer to use this type of powder that's a little bit drier. Maybe it's the brush that I'm using. I don't know, because this brush is a little bit on the stiff side, and of course it's not technically a brow brush, but I don't feel like you have to use a brow brush to use a brow powder, if that makes any sense. So I did try to mix the 2 shades together. I have like a spot right in here where the powder doesn't want to stick. Having some issues with that. I'm going to take the Morphe E30 brush, which is just a big fluffy brush, and I think I'm going to start with the lightest shade, which is from the duo Veil and Honeymoon, so this light one. which is more of like a champagne kind of color. And I'm just going to lightly press my brush in there, tapping off the excess. There's not a whole lot of fallout with this one. This is more of like a goldeny champagne. So it does look a little bit chunky on the brush. Here it is. The brush looks a little bit kind of chunky with the powder on it, just so you know. Just like an FYI, it's not as noticeable when you use your finger because they are a creamy formula, and it could be, again, the brush. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm just going to lightly press that onto my lids. So that one, it's okay on the lid. I don't mind the color, it just looks very kind of chunky on the lid when it's applied. So I'm not really liking that. So I'm going to use this shade here. So it's like a soft kind of peachy champagne color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my finger this time. And of course it's going to show up more because I'm pressing it onto my lids, but I wanted to see, because I've also never used any of the Pixi eyeshadows. So this is kind of like my first taste into what their eyeshadows are like, or their shimmers. And I'm not really digging this, honestly. And I don't want to come off mean or anything like that. I'm all for supporting YouTubers and, you know, anything that's created by a woman, so, you know, lifting and celebrating and just enjoying, you know, being part of something, you know, but I don't know. I think it's just that kind of shimmery gold. I'm not really feeling it on my lids. A Morphe M441 brush with a little bit of my chocolate Soleil. This is a travel size one. And then just kind of lightly add some depth to this look because I'm not really liking the way this looks on its own. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of some depth to the eyes with the liner shades. So I'm going to use this one right here that's more on the darker side. And what I'm going to do is just kind of press this right at the roots of my lashes. Okay, you really can't see it. Let's switch brushes then. How about that? I'm going with a flat definer brush. This definitely does pick up quite a bit of product. And I'm just going to stamp this through the lashes. Okay, that's a little bit better. With these dark colors, when you put your brush in there, there's some like powdery kick up here. And so here's my thing. The powder is going to end up going into the blush eventually. So you'd have to kind of blow it off or just kind of like dust it off before you go in with that rosy color, because that dark shade is going everywhere. So I'm not really digging that. And I don't mean to be harsh, but I'm just being honest. I'm going to take a pencil brush. This is the MAC 219, and I'm going to soften out the edges of that dark shade just lightly so that it's just at the root, not super, super dark. So they're defined, the lash line, but not like in your face, which is not a bad thing. So I'm wiping off my brush, and I'm going to take the like brunette shade, and I'm going to add that to my lower lash line just to create some depth here. The Maybelline Total Temptations. This has, I think, a coconut oil in it or coconut extract something, but I will say that upon using it, the first thing that I thought of when I started applying it is that it smells like Play-Doh. And I'm not exaggerating, that is like spot on the scent. So it's a little bit, a little much. So this is the brush. It's a full brush. The mascara formula itself is a little bit on the wet side, so it does take a little bit of work, but you can build it up, and I will just kind of show you. I do get this smearing on my skin when I'm applying it, so I will have to clean that up off camera. I think the wand picks up quite a bit of formula, so you just have to be careful because it can apply a lot. It's an old one from Real Techniques. They probably redid their brushes to look a little bit better, because this is like old when they first came out, and it's still holding on strong. I feel like I got a clump right in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that side and work on the other side, and then come back to do a second coat. Alright, so 2 coats of the mascara is on. As you can see, it does make my lashes look really long, and I like that. I wish that it had a little bit more separation as I get with the L'Oreal Paradise, which is one of the reasons why I love it. It does leave a little bit of clumpiness, and I think it's just because the formula is a little bit more wet than the Lash Paradise, which is what I'm used to using. I've been using that for months since it came out, and I've gone through at least 3 of these already since it came out almost a year ago maybe. So this is not bad. I don't like the scent of it. That Play-Doh scent is really but it does lengthen and separate. I don't feel like it transfers too much. I mean, I do get some kind of smears, but that happens all the time. I don't use this on my lower lash line because of the brush. It's a little too big, and I will get it all over the place. So I'm going to apply my normal go-to for the lower lash line, which is the Clinique mascara, if I could find it. Oh, it was already in my hand. The Clinique. This is the Lash Power Longwear formula. This works really great for the lower lash line, so I'm going to do that. And then we're going to add some glow to this face. Okay, so now for blush, we're going to go back into the Pixi and Chloe palette here. And let me go ahead and just show you what these look like. So those are the 3 shades there, like a soft peach, a soft light kind of baby pink, and then a nice pretty rose. And I will say they feel really soft, and I like the formula, the way it feels in my fingers, really creamy. The rose one has a few little bit of noticeable kind of shimmer specks in it. I don't know if that's going to transfer onto the skin, but normally I go for matte blushes, and these are not matte, but they're not extremely shimmery either. So we'll see. This is going to be like a first time using something like this. And I'm going to be using the Daily Tools 960 brush. I've had this for a few years, and I just busted it out, cleaned it off, and it's one of those kind of like paddle shape brushes, but it's made for blush. So we're going to try that. I'm going to go in with the lightest color first, the peach. And just upon putting my brush in for the first time, it picks up quite a bit and a little bit of kick up. So not too bad. Tapping off the excess. And I'm going to apply this to the apples of my cheek. And up a little bit higher because there is a bit of a sheen to this. So I wanted to see if this could kind of give me a bit of a glow. That is a pretty blush, but for me, I'm not used to it, for one. And second of all, I can see the shimmer kind of just almost sitting on the skin, which I don't like. But again, that could just be because I normally use matte blushes. So I'm gonna... I can say that products do blend out nicely over the Bobbi Brown stuff so far. Just to do it, go with this light pink, just a little bit of it, right on the center of the apple of the cheek. That's definitely very pigmented. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I need to bust this beauty blender out and soften this because that was very pigmented. I was not expecting that. It's like a very baby doll kind of pink. I don't know. How do I feel about this? Pretty. Yeah, I think it's pretty. It's much more meh than I expected, but that's a good thing because it's pigmented. Alright, so I don't really like the way these shimmers look on my eyes, so I'm not even going to use it for highlighting because I just know that I'm not going to like that. So I'm going to put this to the side and we're going to highlight the tops of our cheekbone. Dare I do some highlight with this blush? I think so. We're going to do it. Alright, so for highlighters, I went and got these out of my guest bathroom because that's where I've been doing my makeup, and I have these in my Madison cabinet. These are my two go-tos, the LORAC Starlight and then the Too Faced, the Diamond Highlighter. So I'm going to start with the LORAC one. This one is just beautiful. It's my favorite one. It's a pretty soft champagne color. And I've actually been using this brush, the Morphe E9, which I use for like setting under the eyes or some contour when I do contour. But it's actually really good for highlighting, because you can just really just pinpoint right on top of the cheekbone. You see that? Look, it's so pretty. And I'm going to take a little bit and come around here, like a C shape basically. Yes. Love this. This is so pretty. This is like everyday kind of perfect. Use my finger. Oh. Too much for my Cupid's bow. Then I like to take a little bit of this, which is very brightening, and I'm just gonna go in there and then just the top of the cheekbone. I don't take this down my nose or anything because it can get a little chunky as well. And then last thing is I take my beauty blender and just kind of make sure everything is soft so there are no harsh lines. And that is like my perfect highlight. So, so pretty. Okay, for lips, it's super easy because it's just one product. It's this. This is the Lip Icing and Cake. So here's the gloss. Hopefully, is the camera going to pick it up? Come on. Probably not. But it is a kind of shimmery, glittery color. When you look at it, it looks very kind of golden. And it's almost like when the light hits it, it looks gold. Then it looks more like a rose gold, more peach. And I've been using this on its own, and I like it. And then you can, sometimes it picks up a little pink. So very different. This would be good for like a center of the lip kind of pop if you had liquid lipstick on or a regular lipstick. It feels very smooth. Of course, if your lips are dry, like mine tend to be, it won't be smooth, but the actual formula itself is very smooth. You don't feel the glitter, so I do like that. And it's pretty. Just simple, natural, very spring-like. And that's the look. Alright, and that completes the look. This is the completed look. This is what I'm going to wear for the day. Just something very soft, light, and springy, which is what I wanted to go for because it's such a beautiful day. Super sunny. Very windy though here in Colorado, but a beautiful day. So just to kind of wrap up, I know this video was very long, but it's a get ready with me. You guys know I like to take my time with these and just kind of go in detail. So I did some first impressions for a few new products. So that's why it's a little bit longer. So I'm going to start off with the lip product. I do like this, and I think this is pretty to use on its own like I'm wearing today. I have used this over other products, and I think it looks really pretty. It just kind of adds a bit of a glow, nice kind of glossy lip, which I'm a gloss girl. So this is good to have because it's very similar to using like the Jouer lip toppers without that kind of gritty feel. It adds a little bit of something there without a high price point. Although this was, I believe, was $14, so a little bit high, 12 or 14 for this. So not too bad, but a little bit pricier than if you got something similar from like a drugstore brand. The palette, for me, was a bit of hit and miss. Overall, I like that kind of glowy, dewy skin that I'm having today, and I do think that my skin looks pretty good in my opinion. But I just, something about the shimmer on the lid, the way it looks, I don't know, I think it's okay. It's not mind-blowing, honestly. The blush is pretty. I was surprised by the blush because it is sort of like a soft kind of sheen to it. It's not super glowy and super pearly and like super frosted. It's a very sophisticated kind of glow, which I think is really pretty, and I think that's why I enjoy these two shades. So the pigmentation of these is good. I just don't like the way they look, unfortunately. And then this here, it's okay. I think I can make it work with these two shades, kind of mixing the light and the medium color for brows, and then using this almost black, kind of black, very dark shade for liner, but it doesn't really transfer as pigmented as I would have liked for liner. And I definitely had to build this up for brows, so it definitely takes me a lot longer than using a pencil. So this is okay. Not going to be my first choice of products for blush, eyeshadows, or brow / liner if I had to choose among some of the other things that I have. This unfortunately would not be one that I would like initially say, oh, I'm going to use that because it's really great. So that's kind of a bummer, but this is what the packaging looks like if you want to try it for yourself. Of course, it sits in the box and you can see that clear window, and it just kind of has a bit of like swatchy type of stuff on the top. So, you know, very basic packaging, but that's what it looks like if you want to find it, and it's got her face on the back of it if you want to look for this in your local Target, which is where I got mine from. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending some of your day here with me. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button for more videos like this in the future, and also hit the notification bell so that you get my videos sent to you directly. Follow me on social media. I have Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that. It's always on the screen, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.